Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 2. Risky Behavior are down 0 to Problem Solved. Problem Solved coming in potentially as a favourite to advance on from this one. However, for me, Risky Behavior was the team that looked a little bit better. They might made some bad execution decisions, but I feel that picks and bans in the early game was a lot stronger.
I think Problem, so you mentioned it as we closed out Game 1, cobwebs have been dusted off. And that's really what it seemed from both teams, specifically Problem Solved. Like, their early game where it's just sloppy, they were on different pages. I don't like their composition. I think it worked out in the end once they, coordinated their burst a little bit better, especially on the tanky targets. But they still managed to find the win. Risky Behavior, to me, was playing scared, right? The Thor is being aggressive. He was playing as he should, but the problem is he would come crashing down and there's no follow-up. And that is either on him or the rest of his team. It's on one of them, and it depends who's calling, so not really sure.
Communication could be a factor there as well. Let's go into picks and bans of Game 2, though, and see if Risky Behavior can bring this one back. It's a best-of-5 series, so even if they, they fall down 1, they're still not out of this yet.
I love best-of-5 series because there's always a mini-meta that develops within. And you saw it there in that last set, the flex, where Guan started being banned out after being so effective the first 2 games. People gave up on the Chronos pick because it got destroyed.
So, but with this set, this time round, in Game 1, we saw Bellona had a whale of a time there, and Isis and Thor controlled early.
I expect not really the Isis Thor, at least right now. What I really expect, honestly, is to see more of the Vamana Amaterasu bans and picks rounds. So far, it hasn't been there, though.
Risky Behavior, they changed something up from the last game after Problem Solved winning that one. They're going to take away Alquang. They don't want to deal with that this time round. They weren't, even though it didn't really have a big influence early.
It did
late game, it did.
Yeah. Well, I guess we only got to really mid-game there.
That's true.
Isis going to be first picked up once again by Risky Behavior. They really like that god in the mid, and that's what I think is very important for teams of, quote-unquote lesser mechanical skill, which Risky Behavior probably is, or newer teams is pick up comps that have a lot of high pressure because it's so hard to play from behind.
So Problem Solved take away Geb here from Risky Behavior this time round. However, they lock in Neith, and Chiron is still on the table here because of the first pick. Sorry, the first ban phase. Chiron was banned where Alquang was. Now it's going to be Chiron available. I think Risky Behavior going to have an even safer solo.
They have to pick up Chiron here. I would imagine Thor as well, because you take a look and you can't give up Chiron to Problem Solve because they'll pick it up immediately if it's left open. It's going to be Thor. It has to be.
And they get Thor. If they go for Thor again,
that's so much pressure. That's a winning. You're winning the entire left side of the map. There's no way you can counter that.
And if you just pick something safe for the solo lane, you can just try and beat down the duo side of the map.
Like a Guan would work really well in Risky Behavior's comp, right? A lot of tankiness, a lot of early high pressure. You could sustain and reset fights with the Isis Guan. Thor has a lot of self-mobility. Problem Solved. Going to go the Chronos. Question is whether that's mid or Hunter.
Well,
we've seen both.
If it's going to be in the mid lane, it's not got that much pressure. In the duo lane, it's going to be with a Geb, so there's not going to be much pressure there against a Chiron early either. So you're going to be able to safely farm for the most part, I'd suggest. Athena, taken away by Problem Solved. They don't want to have to deal with the support, and in response, Amaterasu, they don't want Baskin to have that one.
I don't know why they did that. Because I think Marauder outplayed Baskin there. He was a more efficient soul lane overall.
I mean, in team fights, though, Amaterasu does bring a lot to the table with that Divine Presence, the mobility it gives to the team.
But it's, at least in the last composition, it didn't really work out too well. Maybe in Problem Solved's Game 2 composition, it's a little bit better. Bans coming through, though. Hun Bat's taken out. I like that decision. Causes way too much disruption, and it would kind of help Problem Solved out early in mid-game, especially if the Isis Thor are trying to be aggressive and look for invades. It really slows down the pace.
So Problem Solved go with a safe solo laner here, Osiris for Baskin this time round, and that leaves something for Risky Behavior to really pick up. What would you run against the Osiris here?
I mean, you could do the Guan, you could do the Vamana as well.
Vamana.
Either work. Vamana's going to be better if you want a solo laner that can zone out the Chronos Neith for the first 15-20 minutes. Obviously, it's a little bit harder than late game, but they're going to go Bellona, and she kind of does the same thing. But she can also
for the backline here,
right? So like, with a Guan, you kind of want them to be around your carries more to heal. Vamana, you want them on the back line. Bellona can fluctuate in between both of those styles.
And the funny thing is, Chiron's got a lot of self-peel here. Thor has self-peel. Isis is the one that struggles a little bit as well. And I was going to mention the support role for Risky Behavior. They got a lot of focus bans at him this time round. And Bacchus is going to be drafted in for him. Nice little setup. I like this composition coming out from Risky Behavior. Problem Solved, though. I think the Neith pick early may hurt them.
I think just it's not necessarily the Neith pick, it's the fact that they didn't pick up Chiron or Thor.
Well,
I think it's the fact that they didn't pick up Chiron.
They picked Neith first pick. That was the big thing for me.
If they Neith Chiron first picked, I would have loved that.
And Fenrir going to be the final pick for the jungle for problem solved. Homiefe going to default to that one with Hombat's not available. Thor and Ao Kwang, a lot of jungle bans focused there onto him. But Fenrir still
I like this. You especially up against risky behavior who have Isis, Chiron, Thor, Bacchus, like just so deadly early. You need a jungler that's not necessarily going to beat them, but can match that early pressure and make plays if they dive a little bit too deep. Red pots for both junglers though, and I think the early game is going to tell a lot in this game too, especially if risky behavior.
I was excited. I thought we were
their
going to see a big team fight in the mid lane. I thought everyone was just going to run mid and fight then.
Maybe they're just saying hi.
Well, they said they're going to invade to the left-hand side and look for a potential pick and see if they can catch anyone warding. They're not going to, though. On the right-hand side, you do see risky behavior drop one ward. On the left-hand side, there's 2 wards dropped there, I believe, and 1 for each team. Neither is a sentry.
So it is Neith mid, by the way, which means it's going to be a Chronos Gap duo lane, which is going to get bodied, honestly, by Chiron Bacchus. Like, there's so much kill potential, especially onto Jigz. If Bacchus can catch his rollout, if they could poke him down, force him to roll out, and then belly flop on top of that, he's guaranteed dead pre-5.
So we'll have to see if Jigz can play very safe in this lane. Jigz is a very well-known support. He's consistent in the role. He doesn't really make too many massive mistakes.
Ionic praised him as one of the best mechanical support. One of the top mechanical supports in the game. We'll have to see if he can utilize that here for now. Now, it looks like a pretty standard start.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the same. Both the Hunters and the mid laner combining for the back Harpies, as well as the red buff as usual. Mid Harpies, once again, for both teams, stay standing at the beginning of the game. I think maybe when we get to game 3, we may see a mix-up there in how these starts happen, just because teams will recognize that the other team aren't doing mid Harpies and the likes.
It's a possibility. I mean, Fenrir, Osiris versus Thor, Bellona, though, that's pretty close. Obviously Thor, Bellona is going to be stronger, but you could definitely, you know, one misstep and the Thor could, or excuse me, the Osiris could lock you down.
Well, Thor Ice is going to get a left Harpies once again, right? Harpies haven't been done just yet by problem solved. They're going to head over there just now. Neith and Fenrir. A little bit of a better fight early on against Isis and Thor. Still not the best matchup you want, but it's not too bad.
Wubbn taking a lot of poke in the left-hand side, and yeah, it's not ideal. I would like to see this Isis Thor be aggressive. The problem is that they were scared to be aggressive last game, and Problem Solved have even a stronger early game combo. So I don't expect them to be aggressive. I don't expect them to use their composition well.
You can see the the Hunter mid combo. So the mid juggler combos. We get a pause coming out from them, heading back to the back Harpies for the time being.
Walked right over a ward though, placed on the blue buff. I just want to see risky behavior, like just be aggressive. They have this perfect storm to beat Problem Solved with this composition. Like you said, honestly, the Neith pick pretty awkward. Not that Neith isn't a good pick, but it's the fact that risky behavior got basically the exact god they wanted.
Left-hand side aggression, FaymousHate going in with Wubbn, the belly flop already used, but FaymousHate is the one that comes off negative in that trade as well as this goes on. Jig's going to get hit by Belch.
This is really awkward because it honestly looks like Problem Solved are the one forcing the fights, but Chiron has 3 health potions when Metyankey only started with 1. In addition to that, Chiron has so much sustain just in his kit. Like, just as he uses abilities, he passively heals up himself and anyone around him.
I don't necessarily think that was a bad trade then for FaymousHate and Wubbn, because they've got a health potion advantage.
It was a great trade.
And now they can still look for Metyankey once again. They're looking for him. The flop from Wubbn actually focusing the minions, trying to get the clear on more than anything else and look for rotations. But look at this. In the jungle, Problem Solved invading for back Harpies here.
No, they're baiting for a fight. They want to catch Isis on the rotation and root her in place.
Unfortunately, right Harpies are available instead, so they're going to go and pick those ones up this time around and not end up losing anything. So he said he's going to pressure mid once again. Problem Solved up against Isis and Thor. Doing a very good job of Problem Solved here.
I agree. And right now, Thor, Isis both hit level 5. Could look to try and pick off members, but Homiefe and Hurriwind hit level 5 as well, and now they're going to start, it looks like, to head over to that dual lane. You can see Wubbn and FaymousHate both backing off as the rotation comes.
Need to be very aware because Fenrir can jump over the wall, but instead what they're going to do is steal away the balls. 4-man gripping for the balls, but is Thor in the air there? It looks like Thor might be up, just looking to see if they can go in aggressive on this one. He is going to go in, you know, dunking in. Going to get Purification on Homiefe, who's still in the fight, leaps in. Now looking onto the Thor, who Purification's away himself, and Jigz is in a world of hit in that corner.
Look at them, they're all caught, just trying to stay on the edge of the ice. Homiefe now, big dog going to run out, but all 3 players silenced, reset. Jigz, 1 hit, first blood goes to the Isis, and now risky behavior, they're going to be able to pick off these players one at a time. Homiefe just jumped in.
He's looking for the kill. What? He's not going going to find it, and now the snipes come out as well from FaymousHate. Needs to find the third one. He does, and the stun from Wubbn will help out. There's the charge in, and FaymousHate gets a double kill. Risky behavior.
Problem
big
solved.
early.
I could just tell. Problem solved. Do not respect risky behavior. They're making incredibly aggressive plays with a weaker early game composition, and they're paying for it. That's 3 kills. That's 3 kills that don't need to happen. They're assuming risky behavior. Just gonna. They assumed they were going to walk over. That's what it looks like to me. They thought they were going to come in, that they were going to be the torpedo gaming, that they were going to quickly 3-0 and make it into next week.
Well, I mean, that was all Thor for me. Thor made the biggest play in that engagement. Going up early, expect them to go for those balls and find the pick. But isolate them all in the circle, and Varizial and Venenu.
What did they expect to happen? The Thor was level 5. The Thor watched them rotate over. The call obviously was to invade, and they all grouped up for the Thor ult. There was literally nothing else that was going to happen. Outside of risky behavior, we're going to take the winning 4v4 fight.
Well, not just taking the winning 4v4 fight, they also get the left Harpies and the right Harpies as well. Just extend the lead a little bit more. Now they're going to go back to their own jungle, continue farming. Meanwhile, problem solved. They're going to pick up the red buff as well for the time being. And then rotate for those balls on the right-hand side as well. Good position so far for risky behavior early on. It's sort of tale of both early games going in the favor of risky behavior, game 1 and game 2 now.
I would really like to see them utilize this early game lead. Game 1, they didn't. And if they did, I think they would have won. And right now, they're looking very strong. I mean, risky behavior, even heading into mid to late game, like their comp doesn't fall off that much, right? You know, they don't have like a Kali or a Chronos who are very destructive, or a Scylla destructive late game, but there's a lot of damage spread out across risky behavior. They're not going to have crazy burst, but they're going to still have very high damage output.
And when you look at the enemy team of problem solved, the only one that you can really say is a super hyper carry late game is the Chronos.
That's it.
So it's not too bad for them, especially if they can keep Metyankey under control this game. They should be okay. It's going to be reliant upon Baskin to make sure he gets involved in this and makes a big impact. As the Jigz comes in on Jigz, the double tap wall, Spirit Ball, shield down, execute from the Intoxicate. Wubbn gets committed for the kill. Meanwhile, though, soloed by Baskin.
And Baskin actually has been controlled. This is the shining light for problem solved. He has actually been controlling Marauder very well in game 2 because he is on more of an aggressive soul laner, unlike the Amaterasu. He's actually, I've been watching on the minimap, been getting those fire elementals pretty much on cooldown, found himself a couple hundred gold lead, and finally is able to pick up Marauder. And this right now is problem solved's win condition, is allow Baskin to outplay and out-rotate Marauder, especially mid to early game, right? If they wait a little bit too long, it becomes risky. They want to bait Marauder's teleport, and then have Baskin teleport over and force an early gold fury.
Well, let's see if they can do that, because at the moment they're going to pressure mid lane. Can we check it with experience here as well? I just want to see how the big difference between Baskin and Marauder. Look at that, 200 experience difference between the two solo laners. And everyone's been talking about how strong solo laners are and how much of an influence they are in the game of Smite right now in Season 3. And my oh my, Baskin is having a good time of it in that solo lane. The rest, they're going to have to focus him down soon, and I think that's what we can see out of Thor actually.
Look at this.
Over here.
Look at this. Marauder already half-life. Baskin, he may not know the gank is coming, but it's still going to be hard. Actually, they could just wombo him down.
He does now. CC to death, my friend. Now he's going to be able to use his passive, though, to walk through the wall and escape.
Oh, man, that passive walked straight through Thor wall, but that was a really nice combo.
Now Homiefe going to come around looking for aggression to Thor, but with Wubbn in tow, they need to be very careful. Jigz here in support as well as his Hurriwind, but there's a teleport coming in on top of that from Baskin, and now Wubbn's going to run away.
This is
trying to find a pick, but they can't.
This is a really good fight, and now they're going to go on the Isis. Purification 4, Silence coming through. Isis trying to make her way into tower. She is, but Homiefe will pick her up. Actually taking a lot of tower shots. Needs to be careful as Marauder's back in this fight.
Took a lot from both teams there just to find one kill across this whole map. Isis is the one that ends up falling down there.
Problem solves win condition. So Marauder teleports back in after dying, 2 levels down, immediately poked to half. So risky behavior have to support Marauder. They can't just leave him alone. They need to put some pressure on Baskin to help get Marauder back in the game.
And Baskin now going to try and wail on Marauder once again. But yeah,
they invest 3 ultimates, can't find it, and now problem solved, they can win these fights. Now that all the ultimates were extended on Baskin, Baskin can teleport back in. Marauder can't because he had already spent his teleport, and they find a successful pick.
Successful pick, 4-2 is a scoreline. Problem solved, hanging on to this one. Mainly looking towards Baskin, it seems to be the lifeline for this team, at least during the early stages with how his laning phase is going. The rest of the map, you can see there's advantages all over for risky behavior. You just saw FaymousHate over in that left-hand lane, just trying to take away the back balls. Did get himself one, as Baskin on the right-hand side, well, he takes away the balls there.
And this should be problem solved's goal for the next 10 minutes, is just play around Baskin. Let him abuse Marauder, let him extend his lead, let him, burn the opponent's teleport, and they can make wins happen. And you saw it just there. The goal for the rest of the team is to not get picked off at this point.
Is a solo laner enough just to carry the game through?
Yes.
Okay.
You can. If your solo laner is that much more effective than the opponent's solo laner, you can carry a game, right? You go back to the summer split, right? Now, the meta was a little bit different with Bluestone, but that's exactly what Envy did. They're like, we're just going to get Cyclone ahead because there's no other solo laners in North America outside of, you know, Baskin, but he was still in development with Cloud9, and Omega that could contend with him. So just camp the solo lane, get Cyclone ahead, and we'll play around this mechanical god.
Red buff being dropped by Risky Behavior. Going to drop over to Venenu once again as Baskin. A bit low on mana here, just clearing out the wave. Marauder trying to give him a bit of a beatdown, but level 9 versus level 12, not an easy thing to ask. Flopping mid lane misses as the backflip comes out from Hurriwind. Back to safety he goes.
And this is fine, right? Problem solved. They don't want to fight. They just want to farm up. And actually, Homiefe jumps in. Nice Geb shield. And you can see Homiefe actually didn't want to full commit. He just wanted to take free poke and back off. That is a smart decision by him.
And now he's a 3v2 in mid for a little while. But there's nothing on the map for them to really look to engage on or try and force no minion wave coming. So they'll just take a little bit of pressure for a moment or two. Maybe look for a rotation. They've got back harpies available. Wubbn, though, he's feeling himself. Going to go in here because they get a rotation out of FaymousHate.
There's the stun. And problem solved, going to be able to back off. I think that could have been a pick, could have been a kill if Wubbn had landed his belly flop, but no panic from problem solved. They didn't immediately start burning ultimates trying to escape. They recognized that, you know, with the belly flop down, they don't really, Risky Behavior doesn't really have any stronger engage tools, but here's this early gold here. Oh, it's done, basically.
That is destroyed in seconds. The boys of Risky Behavior
I love that.
Another nice gold fury.
That was very clean. They recognize they have the Ice Assault, and now Thor's taking to the sky. They're looking to pick off Hurriwind here, coming crashing down. There's the Geb shield, but they do force the purification.
Nice work from Wubbn there as well. Sorry, from Jigz there, I should say, with the shield to actually save the day. And that is Baskin over on the right side. Once again, continuing. Marauder closed the gap by about a level so far, so it's not all doom and gloom for the solo lane as he continues to get whacked away on once again. But reinforcements have arrived once again, and now Baskin, you need to watch yourself before you break yourself.
He actually ulted in place as his team rotates in. Here's Homiefe as well. One hit on the Thor, and it's going to be Baskin to pick him up. Or excuse me, picks up Wubbn, and Thor on full retreat now. Marauder trying to body block as best he can. Ult completely whiffs. Baskin still managing to pick up the kill, though, as look at Jigz just tank this tower.
Tanking for days, although that Bloodshed and the Spirit Ball combo should be enough to isolate Baskin and bring him down for the kill eventually. 4 for 4, and now Venenu going to try and chase on for Homiefe, but brutalizes away from the danger. 5 to 4. Let's check out the golden experience and see how it looks after the gold fury and those engagements.
Oh, look at this Neith getting pinched right now. Marauder's teleported back in. Hurriwind's in a real rough spot. Marauder coming from the top, and Hurriwind recognizes he's gonna die. He's just gonna try and trade, but not enough damage. Spirit Ball, bludgeon.
Disarm was the big key there. That Scourge was absolutely huge in that play for Marauder. If he didn't do that, Venenu was definitely going to die in the mid lane.
I love that decision from Hurriwind. Obviously, he's getting pinched off. He was in a bad spot, but he recognizes that he's dead no matter what. Let me try and trade out. Wasn't successful, but was the right mindset.
This game's just going to offer a very fast pace. 10 kills in 11 minutes. A gold fury already down as well.
This is the complete... Game 1, everyone looked sloppy. Game 2, players look fantastic.
Baskin looks amazing.
He looks really good.
Baskin
put him on a hard carry.
Hold that thought, because Varizial on this Thor is actually going to go in again, looking aggressive.
They know
is
this
it going
is
to be
there,
Jigz or Yankee? That's the question. Neither is the call. Maybe
I think he wanted Jigz. That's the smart choice. Don't burn everything on that, you know, Chronos, because not only does he have Rewind, but he also has Jigz there to shield him. There's so much to stay at. It's almost guaranteed to go poorly.
Well, level 12 starting to be reached by most players now, or on the cusp of it. Obviously, Baskin already had the Curse online in his second relic. Marauder has the Purification to go alongside it, but in mid lane you can see Venenu on the Isis and now picked up a Sanctuary. We'll see if a couple more
know it's bad when you're forced to go Purification. Like when you're getting bullied so much as a solo laner that you're forced to go Purification on a Bellona instead of having another team fighting active. That's how scary Baskin is right now.
But is that for the team unit, the fight that's going to happen? Because when you look at his actual composition he's against here, he's going to deal with belly flops and intoxicate, spirit balls and silences, and then Thor walls and dunks too.
No, it's Marauder. Those are all on his team.
Oh, good point. That's me being an idiot. I was like, wow, there's a lot of...
No, I understand.
His Purification. That's what it was. I was like, trying to... Well, still,
I'm
he's
like,
yeah, man, dude,
his Thor's probably going to wall him off, right? Like,
yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Don't you hate those trolls?
Don't you hate it when you make a mistake on a cast?
No.
It doesn't happen that often.
Oh, man.
Feels bad,
Some
man.
aggression on the right-hand side. Isis is in an awkward position.
Cataclysm going to hit onto Isis. Knockup does not connect from
Baskin.
Shockwave, but Baskin is here, dodges the Spirit Ball, going to force the Sanctuary. The dunk from Thor is good, but the Lord of the Afterlife is even better. Still looking for the pick on to the Isis. The Circle of Protection is good. Great play from Risky Behavior to peel out the Isis and still survive.
And this is playing around your soul. That was great play from both, right? Problem solved. Our job is to play around Baskin. Baskin 1v4'd. He forced 3 ultimates to peel him off of that Isis. That's how far ahead he is. And right now, problem solved. 4 members strong, going to be pushing up the mid. In the meantime, Baskin going to be split pushing on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Metyankey got some good poke pressure onto that. Actually, Wubbn going to go in and flop in, and now he's in a bit of trouble there. Actually, Purifications himself still gets hit by Metyankey, though. Metyankey picks up the kill. Baskin still over the solo lane, farming away, trying to take down that tower as well. Is in the mid lane. Everyone disengages.
Problem solved, found that pick, and Baskin's going to find a tower. And now let's take a quick look at the gold lead. Risky Behavior up by about, I think, 3K at one point, or close to it. Now it's been lessened to only 2,000.
Chipped away a little bit, but it's not too much of a disadvantage with that one tower going on the right-hand side for now, especially because we're starting to see more rotations coming out from these solo laners from that. But level 16 is Baskin. Top damage, 10,311. And that's without a mystical mail, just to be clear.
I mean, he is the man of the game right now. 4-1-0. He is basically every single kill on problem solved outside of Chronos sniping away Wubbn there in that last engagement. I mean, it's all on him right now to help problem solve to get to the late game, and so far he's done a great job. This Isis, though, needs to be a little bit more careful in her positioning because it's kind of been in that exact same corner. That exact same corner on the bottom side of the right side, Harpies, that she's been getting pinched quite often.
Was solo laner, now transitioned to mid. He's not doing too bad overall. His team is supporting him, but he's doing very well to self-heal himself. As they're looking for a second Gold Fury, Circle of Protection is available. Teleport coming in from Baskin here as well. He's going to force a reset for now as the Whirlwind fires up. Is anyone going to block it? Yes, Wubbn does. Lord of the Afterlife on the back, looking and actually hitting with FaymousHate. And now they're going to try and full disengage, but look at this Homiefe still going in, going to bring back the carry.
And he's basically dead. Circle Protection drop. There's Cataclysm on 2, and now this Isis, it's only a matter of time. Baskin finds his 5th kill, and now Risky Behavior, they're on full retreat. Another great wall, but it's not enough. Marauder comes in late to the fight. He's already got 2 of his players dead, and this is Problem Solved's fight.
Is a problem solves fight indeed. Now they can just retreat, look for the Gold Fury. Thor, no ultimate in the mid lane now. Wubbn does have his available at the moment, but needs to return to base. Let's see what's going. Marauder actually going in here. Has the Purification to get away. Still tethered at the moment, though. He finally does get away with the help of his teammates back to safety. And can problem solve go for the Gold Fury now? They've got enough health. A little bit lower mana for Homiefe. He's going to try and hold mid.
You can see Marauder and Wubbn there as well. Gold Fury has been started. 3 members. And Homiefe actually going to farm up mid lane instead of being at the Gold Fury or zoning, and Wubbn jumps in. His ultimate's available. 1 hit. Problem solved. Do secure the Gold Fury, but that was really close. I'm surprised that Homiefe was farming during that. I think that was not free.
Trusting his team a little bit with that coming around. Wubbn obviously didn't manage to find the kill. I love what Wubbn decided to try and do there. Bacchus,
that was perfect.
One of the best, best supports are trying to attempt to steal away a Gold Fury. Just a little bit too early on that ball.
It's because it's the knock-up, right? It's because not only do you have a ton of burst damage as a support, and also he's picked up penetration boot, something that we didn't hit on already, but also you knock up the members that are on it, which means they can't do damage to secure it. Goes in a tad too early, but it was a nice attempt.
Let's check in with the experience in gold now and see. It looks like relatively even in gold, and experience is actually in Problem Solved's favor, and most of that lead is coming from Baskin in that solo lane.
I mean, he's level 17 right now, and outside of Bellona, right? Isis is the next highest, level 14. She's 3 levels down on a solo laner at 16 minutes.
Wubbn going to farm on mid lane. You see Hurriwind returning to base. Actually, Jigz going to get knocked out of position there, but there's no follow-up, like you said.
That's kind of like, don't do that, Jigz. What are you doing, man? What are you doing, Jigz?
FaymousHate, has he gone for chins here? It looks like, no, he doesn't. He's just going to return back to base for a little bit of health there. Still working towards the chins is FaymousHate on that Chiron. Meanwhile, Metyankey on the Chronos, 2-1-2 right now. Full Doom Orb stacks, has a wing blade as well for the extra mobility and survivability against the slows of the likes of Baskin, I feel.
Yeah, and he's done a good job of poking out FaymousHate for most of this game. It seems every time FaymousHate rotates in, he's half-life, whereas Metyankey basically full at the time, and seems to have been controlling the dual lane for the most part. Nice little counter ward there by Thor.
And it's this stall of the game now where the Gold Fury is currently down. Neither team really wants to fight because it's going relatively even between the two. For the most part, it's actually problem solved that are winning the engagements, and it's risky behavior that are on the back foot consistently, trying to peel themselves out of an awkward situation.
And that's because problem solved, they're successfully poking out risky behavior. They're not full committing. It's just Baskin, as well as Homiefe and Hurriwind a little bit. They're just like, anytime someone steps out of line, we're just going to do as much damage as we can because they don't really have a ton
trying
of
to force
sustain.
mid lane tower here actually with Hurriwind, and you can see Thor jumping in and gets annihilated before he can get his ultimate off out of there. Metyankey gets credit for the kill as a tier 1 tower falls. Problem solved. Extend.
Once again, risky behavior. The Thor's the only one up there. The rest of the players are basically at their tier 2 tower, and Marauder's been getting poked out by Baskin, and now it looks like they're trying to pick him off, but left-hand side, I mean, they're getting invaded.
They're looking for the red buff here. As Baskin defends himself nicely there. The red buff going to get stolen away by problem solved again. Pressure still now in their favor. Risky business need to get some more wards down in the jungle and watch these rotations because they're getting pinned into an awkward spot in mid.
You can see problem solved aggressing, but I don't think they want to commit on a tier 2 tower. They're just going to try and steal away as much farm as they can. Boar's going to be picked up by Homiefe, and FaymousHate can't really do anything. Wubbn also level 12 right now, so far behind Baskin.
And this is problem solved just abusing their advantage of the solo lane, and they're just grouping up as a 4-man and letting Baskin free farm or free roam around the map. Teleport actually attempted to come out there by problem solved, but quickly denied by risky behavior. They're still grouping on the left-hand side, though, looking for the tier 1. 2 members have just been shown mid lane there, so they may feel they can try and burst this one down, especially with a Chronos and the Neith.
This is awkward. Thor actually teleported to the right-hand side. If risky behavior tried to defend this,
Wubbn got bursted.
It's a losing number.
Now they've lost the front line, and actually, no, they're going to really lose the front line as Homiefe goes all the way in. Wubbn got a nice shield off. Sorry, Jigz got a nice shield off there. Cataclysm, but he's going to pay with his life. More than likely, the rollout does not save him, but Baskin is here. Nice Eagles rally from Marauder, going to deny him from continuing the aggression, but the tier 1 tower falls.
Homiefe around the side. Marauder going to take the Neith arrow. Bludgeon actually doing a decent amount of poke, but Baskin responds back, and Marauder on yellow has to take a trip back to the base, and like you said, in the meantime, right, the Thor able to pick up 1 tower, almost gets the second, but Baskin successfully teleports to defend it.
And overall, that was support for support.
That was dead even trade.
Yeah.
Dead even trade. I mean, problem solved should have won that much harder, right? Jigz goes way too deep, and maybe that was the right call, but the problem is his carries were they were like scared to enter the tower range. Like the tower was gonna, they're all at full health, and they were acting like the tower was just gonna one-shot them. It was like a super tower.
This game is very, very evenly balanced, honestly. If for 20 minutes into this game, neither team has taken control of this one. Risky behavior had the early lead early on with those couple of kills, but now problem solved. They've
just been stepping out of line and getting picked off, right? If they fight as a team, if they work as a unit, these fights could go either way, honestly.
And I think the big key here is that Baskin and Metyankey are the 2 members of problem solved that if they get taken out of the engagement early or get isolated away from the team, there's not got a whole lot on the rest of the team.
Yeah, you see the cameraman just highlighted it. Crusher actually picked up by Thor. So this actually seems to be risky behavior's plan, right? They've picked up the teleport on Thor. They're like, we don't want to fight right now. We just want to trade out free gold. I am assuming to get, their carries a little bit more online.
So we send Thor off to the other lanes. We get him to split push. So he can teleport our ult out if he gets aggressed on as well and switch up to the other side of the map. And
this is also going to allow Thor to farm up very well because he was suffering. He was like between level 11 to 13 for about 10 minutes.
4,100. He's currently lower than the support. Bacchus, but still bottom. Thor goes to the sky though as the Gold Fury has been started here. Gold Fury going to get reset now as Bickham on the front line takes a bit of poke. Wubbn has been bursted heavily there, but a nice dunk kick from Thor's going to put a lot of pressure on the team. Eagles rally will help secure the kill to Hurriwind, and the snipes come out from FaymousHate, but round the back, Baskin was waiting for him, going to get knocked away, and now Marauder is surrounded and needs some help soon.
Once again, risky behavior just kind of split up. Basket gonna their sprint pop. Marauder trying to break the tether, does manage to make the distance. And
very good sprint coming out from FaymousHate, and now the Gold Fury started up by problem solved. Baskin on zone duty, gonna eat some poke, but at level 20 he's nice and tanky to hold this one up. Homiefe gonna turn in support, and it looks like problem solved to drop the Gold Fury because of it. Wubbn is back.
Homiefe taking a lot of poke. Gold Fury started back up, but I mean, there's 3 players from risky behavior, all full.
This looks like a mistake. They're going to lose Gold Fury for this.
Recognized. They're going to back off. Ice's ult is available, so they could try and burst this, but I mean, problem solved aren't going to give it up for free. Baskin actually backing right now. He has no teleport, so problem solved electing to give this up, it seems. Okay, he canceled it.
Of risky behavior are here to defend now. Teleport just came out from Thor as well. Varizial is here. There's the circle of protection. Risky behavior get the Gold Fury after a fight that went problem solved's way, but then they didn't execute the Gold Fury well, it seemed.
I'm a little bit surprised that they gave that up, right? It's not necessarily that they have to fight, but at least show presence. At least walk in there, especially Baskin.
Was it they worried about the rotation of Wubbn coming back in that they decided to drop it? Could they not have just dropped it straight away, gone back to base?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to give up Gold Furies if you're in a bad position, but I don't really think Problem Solved were in that bad a position.
But at the same time, like, they won the engagement, but they got a couple of kills. But then in the end,
they're chasing kills.
Homiefe
is playing ranked right now. That's the problem I'm seeing.
I feel that's the sort of story of Season 3, though, for most of the players, is that it's all about overstaying your welcome in these fights. And look at this aggression. Once again, Hurriwind annihilated in a second.
Thor.
Big shield, though, coming out from Jigz to keep him alive, but not enough. And not for it on
nice
the time.
Cataclysm. Curse going to be popped. Baskin going to try and lock down the Isis, but she's got a Purification Beads. Actually doing a good job of kiting, but Baskin still able to find the kill. Thor hammers out, but Metyankey able to snipe him away, and he'll be resetting all his cooldowns as Homiefe comes over the wall. Beads are forced. Marauder, bludgeon, off the mark, and now problem solved. It looks like they want to chase into this tower.
Wubbn doesn't have much to try and get away from this, though, apart from his tankiness. Baskin going to focus onto him, taking aggro. FaymousHate, though, does take out Homiefe, who dived in very, very deep there. FaymousHate trying to find more with the support of Marauder on the front side. The bulwark props to give him that extra shield, and Metyankey going to try and chip down at that one. FaymousHate. Jigz having the ability from Metyankey, who's now disarmed, and now the aggression from FaymousHate comes on.
And you can see Baskin super low as well. He can't frontline anymore, and Risky Behavior somehow hold out. That looked like that fight was going to go real bad for them, but they managed to make it a 2-for-2. Marauder still pressing forward. He has FaymousHate, who's honestly doing a lot of damage right now. You could just see how effective he was, able to lock down Homiefe in that fight. Metyankey takes one step a little bit too far at the end of the engagement, and he starts ripping through him, and Jigz has to knock him up and cancel that charge. But I mean,
this game's got
this game is dead even.
Dead even at 25 minutes in. We said it at 20 minutes, but 25 in now, and it still could go either way. Especially the fact that the biggest key for me here is that there's more Tier 1 towers available for Risky Behavior to take to give them a gold lead here and actually take advantage of this game than there is for Problem Solved.
If one team manages to find a clean deicide, right? If they trade out 5 for 1, 5 for 2, it's going to snowball heavily. The game is dead even because the fights have been going dead even. The second one team wins a fight hard, they're going to be able to take out all the towers on the map, likely get a Fire Giant or a Gold Fury if it's up, and it's going to go from even to 10k deficit very quickly.
And the big key here for Problem Solved is Baskin. It has hit level 20, he's been there for a while, but the problem is that everybody else is starting to catch up. Marauder's done a very good job now. Level 19, almost caught up in build, you can see as well, which is very important for him. And a lot of that comes down to those Gold Furies as Wubbn goes in, gets picked up in the mouth of Homiefe on the back, but Thor comes in now looking for Homiefe as well, but Thor's in a bit of an awkward position, has to hammer away, but World Weaver blocks that, forcing Purification. Baskin trading off with Marauder on the side, keeping each other busy.
He's going to get stunned out as well, and now Metyankey presses forward, going to stun out Marauder. He's on low health, does have his ultimate available, trying to hold it for now, and it's going to be Risky Behavior on full retreat. Problem solved. Not able to chase too hard.
And this is the story of the game so far, is they keep fighting but going even every single time now towards this stage of the game. They both
Risky Behavior aren't getting picked off anymore, right? They're now fighting as a unit, and it's so much better for them. That's why we don't see Problem Solved being the aggressors anymore. They're not the ones with a ton of momentum. Honestly, I mean, momentum-wise, they're both even. Like, both teams are trying to pick off players and force engagements when they think they have a winning situation. Look at all these wing blades too, man.
I think the big key here is, like, when we look towards, I mean, we actually just saw this power spike come out from 2 items here because Hurriwind has chins as well as Homiefe has also picked up chins on the Fenrir.
Yeah.
So a bit of a power spike coming out there. Titan's been finished for FaymousHate as well on the Chiron, so that'll increase a little bit.
You know, I'm really surprised that Homie is actually electing to go into chin size, especially considering that every time he has the Urchin, but he's not tanky right now. I've seen him jump in multiple times, right? Especially on a FaymousHate. He's not going to be able to get the autos off, and if he's sitting there trying to get autos off, he's going to die. He's been getting burned every single engagement.
What would you rather see him pick up instead of the chins then?
A defensive item? I mean, he's just trying to frontline tank, right? You have Baskin, who's very far ahead, doing a lot. You have Neith and Chronos to be your hard carries. Homiefe, just like in Game 1, is trying to hard carry. He's going in too deep, and his positioning has not been good enough to warrant him going into chin size.
Talk about positioning right now. You can see Thor trying to split push on this left-hand side. Varizial is still here, trying to pressure with that crusher that he's picked himself up too. But immediately the response from Problem Solved, they're well aware of it as the red buff is started by Problem Solved.
Jigz.
A lot of pressure onto Jigz here, but he's so tanky. They're putting a lot of investment into it to find the kill. But can Problem Solved turn this around?
And you can see Baskin in the back line in that circle protection, actually going to get stunned out and they're Chain-C seeing him down. The rest of Problem Solved, they're kind of watching this happen. and now they're looking to engage. Homiefe jumps in. He picks up Thor, brings him back to the team, but he's likely going to get traded out as well. No, somehow managed to get out.
He does manage to get out, and on the back, you see Metyankey forced to rewind
Teleport.
away. This fight is going much better for Problem Solved as they're looking to pick up Marauder here, who is chasing in for Homiefe, who's still alive. And it looks like Hurriwind wants to give chase with the backflip and Baskin. Isis only really here alone. FaymousHate in support.
Oh, what is he doing? He's not a tank. He's taking all this damage for no reason. But Metyankey ripping right now through the Isis. Baskin taking a lot of tower shots. It's Season 3, the story of overcommitment and overstaying. Homiefe coming back off the base. Wubbn gonna knock up Metyankey. FaymousHate though, just trying to get out.
Love the call from Wubbn there. He belly flopped in and saw out of his peripheral vision that Fenrir was round the corner and went, nope, disengage. Let's not overcommit any further than this one. Problem solved 15-13. Gold lead is in Risky Behavior's favor. Experience lead is in Problem Solved's favor for now.
This is my first time. These two games have been my first time watching Problem Solved. And for how much not only other people have been hyping them up, but how much they hype up themselves, it looks like they're playing ranked. These players are going in one at a time, they're completely separated, and they're picking compositions where they all just want to play hard carry, and it's not working out for them. They should have lost game one, and honestly, this game could go either way. If they lose this, they're more than likely not going to find their way into the SPL.
Gold Fury going to be taken once again by Risky Behavior. They're going to extend their gold lead once more and now look to try and pressure the mid lane. Just under 3,000, which isn't a lot at 30 minutes in as everyone's starting to reach that full build capacity.
Metyankey is doing so much damage now. You can see he's right under Baskin, and it's something that Risky Behavior needs to be careful of.
Wubbn not scared to go aggressive and tank up the tower, allow his carries to get in there, but blink from Jigz and a good cataclysm. Now Homiefe goes in, gonna pick up Isis and drag her back to the team. Forced in, and she does get bursted down as a big Intoxicate is gonna force issues. Baskin jumps to the backside, trying to focus out FaymousHate.
All these players so low, it's good Risky Behavior on full retreat. Wubbn, he's caught between four. He's the focus, and he's not getting out of here. He's gonna jump forward. Nice wall from Thor, actually. And actually, he could make it out. Jukes the time rift. He's on low health, but Metyankey has been on point this game. 7-1-5. He's the guy to look out for. Risky Behavior need to find some answer.
And that was really, Wubbn dived in to the whole team, and Jigz counter-initiated perfectly.
That I loved. That looked so much better, honestly, from both teams. And Problem Solved, as a team, need to thank Baskin for getting them through the first 15 minutes because they should have lost. And they need to thank Metyankey right now for keeping them in. And he is playing so well. His positioning is so good. He's able to bait out so much, find perfect rewinds, and is just ripping through these carries on Risky Behavior.
The biggest surprise is these fights are going so long that Problem Solved couldn't go straight for a fire giant there. They're grouping up for it now with the man advantage of Wubbn still being dead, but 4 members alive. They're looking to try and pick Marauder, at least beat him back to base one more time. And it looks like they may be able to do that as well. Going to force Purification and Eagle's Rally. Is that the call for fire giant now, Adanas?
They could try. It's still a little bit risky, and it looks like that's what they want to do. I almost feel like they should have taken the safer tower, but they do have a power play. Jigz and Homiefe on zone duty. Thor comes up to the sky, though.
Gonna force to reset. As look at Homiefe going aggressive on to Isis
FaymousHate.
And Homiefe taking a lot of poke, and in the end, Varizial does not manage to find any sort of pick, just uses it for the
Problem Solved aren't looking for the fire giant. They're looking to bait kills, and you can see FaymousHate almost getting picked up there. I like this decision from them, but now they've actually started up. Wubbn's here, though, getting zoned out by Hurriwind. Hurriwind actually in an awkward spot all alone.
Gonna need some support from Jigz, and Jigz trying to do some body blocking. Fire giant gonna get forced to reset as Baskin and Metyankey leave it to try and support the team. Baskin on the front line here, taking a lot of poke from FaymousHate, who gets aggressed up by Homiefe once again, and Homiefe actually loses out on that trade up against FaymousHate there as Marauder is dealing with Hurriwind on the left-hand side, forcing out the beads as well. And now the fight continues as Marauder still was trying to go in.
Baskin real low and sprint popped, and Risky Behavior, they're going to chase this Night Sanctuary. There's the beads. Reset by Metyankey.
Metyankey's in an awkward position now, though, to get himself out.
Baskin like the lazy back.
Wubbn trying to find this
If he gets picked up because he's lazy backing, this could actually turn the fight. He dies, and now Thor takes to the sky. Jigz is going to get turned on. No, okay.
No, Metyankey's going to get turned on. Metyankey's going to get turned on. He was in the back of that fight because of the rewind, and with Thor going to the sky, they spot it, and now it's an opportunity for Risky Behavior to do the fire giant. Marauder on zone duty.
They got to be careful. Homiefe, he's teleported back in. FaymousHate and Isis low health. They've decided to commit. It looks like Marauder is zoning out too, but I mean, this is not free. FaymousHate, They're so low. Homiefe, he's just going to look for the kills. Hammer out by Thor. Fire Giant so low. It looks like both teams are going to reset. Homiefe, though, trying to get away, getting chased down.
Has to use everything to disengage this one. Homiefe hoping to get his jump up and to get out, but he does fall down. Marauder kept two of them busy on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, as Hurriwind does turn back up to the fight, but no Fire Giant for either team yet again.
The lead Baskin had is gone. All these players are now starting to hit level 20, right? It made sense, you know, his positioning, diving deep, trying to chase out players when he was, you know, 2, 3, 4, 6 levels ahead on Wubbn. But now everyone is basically level 20. He can't be doing these things. And he thinks he can just dive the back line, but he's getting blown up. And instead, it's actually Marauder doing a better job. Teleport in by Thor. Nice shield, though. Hurriwind's going to be able to walk out of that one.
But look, though, around the back, Marauder is now here. Disarm comes out, Bludgeon as well. Good shockwave from Jigz again, but Eagle's rally can't be denied. And the double tap from Thor connects to. Now Jigz in the world of her. Going to be Berserker Barrage down. Spirit Ball doesn't connect, but they're still diving in, looking for it. Metyankey gets a good son of Marauder. Tier 1 tower falls. And Risky Behavior. There's 3 members dead of Problem Solved. They can push on mid here.
Problem Solved can't defend this. They have to give this tower up. And what I want to see from Risky Behavior is not make any risky plays. You have the lead now. You have the momentum. There's 2 players down, but it seems to be that's exactly what they're going to go for. They're going to look for this Fire Giant and try and force a win.
33 minutes in, still anyone's game. Risky Behavior have a gold lead now. Bit of substantial gold lead now. As still, people are still trying to work on the 6
Problem
items.
solved, they're giving it up.
They're going to give it the Fire Giant. And Risky Behavior take control of this game, finally.
I think it's a smart decision by Problem Solved. If 1 or 2 of them got picked and they ended up losing the Fire Giant, that's guaranteed all their towers and probably a Phoenix down at that point, especially considering their death timers would be on kind of that awkward time where Hurriwind and Jigz just spawn as they die, and it's really hard to get back into the game at this point. Risky Behavior, I mean, this is all them. They're playing so much better now. The Isis just getting dove and honestly somehow living now.
FaymousHate having a very good game as well. 7-1 and 7. You can see how the gold they just picked up from the Fire Giant as well as the Gold Fury. Now in the coffers, going to be go back and spend. And I can see final items finally ticking away for this team with a little lead.
Big items coming out now. Frostbound Hammer picked up by Bellona. Thor. Wingblade, Titan's Bane, Isis working on what looks to be Book of Thoth or Soul Reaver. I'm assuming it's going to be the Soul Reaver. Bacchus has finished Midgardian Mail. I love the anti-attack speed, especially against the Chronos and the Neith.
The one person to really watch on Risky Behavior for me is Varizial. I'm really struggling with his name, but the Thor
I gave up. I just started saying Thor.
I know.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right to begin with, and I've said like 2 different pronunciations.
I'm just going to call him Vari from now on.
What he used to be known as? Oh, this is Scream. So another ranked player.
Scream. Let's just call him Scream then. Why'd you change your name?
Scream sounds so cool.
It's so easy.
Scream is such a bad
And you can say it too. Scream! You know, it's so easy.
Scream! And you actually scream.
Exactly, it's perfect.
Risky Behavior, though, going to take out all the towers on the map. Only the right-hand side tier 2 are remaining.
But the big talk about Thor is that he's going for this satellite ultimate every single time, ulting in aggressively on his own and forcing a situation.
Speaking of that, he's taking to the sky now. All members of Problem Solved grouped up. The question is, does Scream come down on top? Look at him! It's going to be a 3-man Bellona over the top, but knock up as well on top of Circle Protection. Jigz, he's going to be eliminated, and now Problem Solved.
Looking for the win. Now the Phoenix fell during that whole engagement going on. FaymousHate going to swing around towards mid and get that tower pressure on the can. Homiefe, though, focusing, looking for a pick with a Ragnar. Going to pick up Marauder. And now Homiefe's in the world of hurt. He's going to fall down.
Matt.
Trying to do what he can.
Is able to pick up FaymousHate. Now Isis on 1 hit. Basket should be able to secure this down. There's the curse. Isis actually juking. There's the Thor stun. Met's able to pick him up, but does stun out 2 in the meantime. And now Problem Solved. They lost their Phoenix on the left-hand side, but they're going to be able to win this fight. 2 players dead. Marauder on 1 life, and Metyankey finds the kill. 9-2 and 6. Met doing so much work for Problem Solved right now.
And this is going to open the game up once again. That was a Fire Giant team. Only Thor and Wubbn left surviving. Wubbn going to be chased all the way down by Metyankey, forced to flop away, and finally Yankee's going to return back to base once again. 20-20 is the scoreline. And for a team that Problem Solved is, that everyone's been talking about all season, does this mean Risky Behavior a potential top 4 team in SPL 2?
I don't know, but Problem Solved look like they're not even going to make it into the SPL.
There isn't that many
They're
Problem
playing
Solved
ranked.
right now.
They're playing ranked. I'm seeing players try and make individual plays. Metyankey and Jigz, these two, especially in the later half of this game, have been playing well. They've been playing at an SPL level. But Homiefe's going off on his own. Baskin won lane, but now he's trying to dive the back line and getting blown up. And Hurriwind's just thinks he's a tank. He's the one the closest up. Jigz is behind him half the time.
Risky behavior with the two Fire Giant members on the right-hand side. Problem Solve going to head down the mid lane and going to find a free tier 2 tower for their pleasure here because nobody's here to defend it right now. Bit of an awkward situation, I guess. So Risky behavior were well aware they couldn't defend that anyway if they wanted to. So going to lose a free T2.
Ooh,
close the
Thor.
gap a little bit.
He teleported into the ward here. Going to see Problem Solved. Try and... Ooh, he's...
Oh.
He didn't even know that was happening.
He's still going in on his own, though. Now going to get rooted.
The rest of his team is around, though. And now Risky behavior. They're going to force this.
Who they're going to go on is the question. Hurriwind is the focus target. He's going to get hit.
He's charging his ult. He stood in place. The team was retreating. And now Baskin's locked into a corner. He has no ult and Risky behavior. They're going to be able to finish him off. And it's been the same story for 15 minutes.
Wow.
One player caught out. The second player gets caught out. The rest of the team is running in different directions. And now it's going to be this mid-tier, or excuse me, this mid-Phoenix picked up by Risky behavior.
The last stand of Problem Solved is probably going to be very soon. They may just swing around no Risky behavior for that tier 2 tower on the right, which is what they're going to do. Safer option. They made a mistake on the first Phoenix. Let's do it again. And so let's not do it again.
Let's not do it again. Right. Fire Giant going to be spawning and Risky behavior continuing to play safe. They're going to finish that off. Fire Giant, it looks like in 20 seconds. They're just going to steal away the blue buff in the meantime.
Take the blue, take the win, head back to base. If you need to buy a couple of items, use that golden hand wisely. 3,400 available for Thor or Scream or Varizial.
I mean, he's full build, so the question is he going to elect to
Super
trade
Mega
anything
Power
out?
Pot?
I would imagine he's going to trade out Crusher. He doesn't need that item anymore.
Super Mega Power Potion. What about that?
Oh, that too.
Or Super Mega Defense Potion.
Did he pop both? No, I think he bought the defense and then sold it.
Did he?
Yeah. I saw it, and then he's like, nah, man. Nah, guys, I'm just going to do damage.
Marauder, going to start the Fire Giant. 2 Phoenixes down. Left Phoenix is due to spawn soon, though, for Problem Solved, so it's not all doom and gloom yet. The Fire Giant doesn't look like he's going to get defended, though, by Problem Solved. And so Risky behavior going to get a Fire Giant for the second time this game and look to make this a 1-1 series.
You can see left-hand side Phoenix about to spawn. Mid-Phoenix, though, Fire minions are still pushing through.
And you can see how far they pushed up that left-hand side as well. Problem Solved. They're well aware he's going to respawn, so they've got a bit of opportunity to defend.
Oh, look at that. They're actually pinging out. I don't know if they knew where that was, but they're pinging out Hurriwind doing back harpies when he's full build. And now he's not going to be in position to defend this Phoenix.
Well, they're not creeping up very hard here, Risky behavior just yet, though. They're waiting for minions more than anything.
Blinking!
Oh, Marauder took a lot of poke damage, though. His Jigz got a good cataclysm off. Baskin now trying to swing in the back, but Big Eagle's right from Marauder. And FaymousHate firing that ultimate off through the whole team. It's not enough to secure a kill. His Thor is now in the sky.
He's looking for targets. There's circle protection. Going to be able to heal up Risky behavior, but Homiefe actually plucking Isis into an awkward spot. Sanctuary activated. Somehow she's manages to get out. No one has died in this fight, but the right-hand side Phoenix will be picked up. Left Phoenix could be looked at, but I think Risky behavior recognized that it's a little bit risky. And right now for me, it's the two hard carries, right? It's the Chronos and the Chiron. They're doing so much in these late game team fights, and Metyankey and FaymousHate, I think these are the players that the opponents need to focus on. They're actually the top 2 damage too. I didn't even know that.
Top of the charts. Hurriwind in 4th position right now. He's really struggled this game on this Neith, though. I don't think like he's had the greatest game he could have done.
He hasn't had a great set, and Hurriwind is a very good player. But his greatest weakness has always been tilt, right? If he can keep his mind in the game, he's fine. And I don't know if he's tilting, but it looks like he's tilting because he doesn't, I don't think he respects these players he's facing. Well, he doesn't respect Risky behavior at all. He's trying to chase them so deep as a frontliner when Jigz is behind him, and he gets picked up.
Game 2, though, is a long series, and at the moment, it looks like Risky behavior definitely going to take him to at least 4 games.
I mean, to be fair, this is not a win for Risky behavior yet, right? They're in the lead, but these fights, everyone's basically full build outside of Jigz. You see the power pot just picked up by Metyankey. It's really going to come down to which hunter dies first.
Which team throws? That's the question. The issue is Problem Solved. They have a weakened Phoenix to defend. Homiefe going to go in, try and burst out. FaymousHate, and he's annihilated. Meanwhile,
Problem Solved could win this. Jigz in the back going to find a Cataclysm, but circle protection.
Big circle protection.
It's going to heal
and
up
now
3
Homiefe is going to get bursted, but Sanctuary is going to keep him alive for a moment. He's going to leap away, but there is a wind gust from Venenu to pick up the kill with Isis. Meanwhile, Baskin now leaps in to secure Venenu and gets credit for Metyankey. The hold is here for Problem Solved. They're going to hold this, but for how long?
I don't know. You can see all players on retreat. It's going to be 3 dead for now. Marauder, it's only a matter of time. Actually, he's just wasting time for now.
He's trying to keep him busy.
He's just trying to keep him busy.
Because otherwise, look at the respawn times. It's 50 seconds on 2 of his members, 38 on Chiron. It's an awkward position now. That's scary what Risky Behavior just did. This brings back game 1 again, where they made some small mistakes that cost them so big.
And this
only they waited for the
Problem
minions.
Solved have not looked good, but they have been winning scrims against high-level teams. Regardless of how they're playing, they still have the intelligence of high-level players, and they know how to hold in these positions. You can see right there, Homiefe, his job, it's not to do anything outside of force FaymousHate into an awkward spot. He picks him up, he baits the beads early, and then he takes him right to his team, and problem solved. They eliminated the hunter first, they won the fight. That's entirely what these fights are going to come down to, whether Met dies first or whether Famous dies first.
And now we're going to have a bit of a situation where everyone's waiting for their teammates to respawn. 46 kills in this game in under 46 minutes, so more than a minute a kill. As this game has continued, Fire Giant is going to be down for roughly another minute and a half at the moment, and with the respawns coming through, we may see a fight over that. But to be fair, problem solved, it's going to be difficult for them to try and defend a Fire Giant and the Fire Minions coming into the base.
They're going to give up Fire Giant. They gave up the first two when their base wasn't even being pressured. There's really no reason to force this one. It's just going to put them in an awkward spot and almost guarantee a loss if they try and contest, as long as Risky Behavior is smart enough and can pick off the player, right? Because put it this way,
You still got a chance.
put it this way, even if problem solved steal, right? If Homiefe or Jigz comes in and they steal, right? 4 members with Fire Giant versus 5 players without Fire Giant pushing with Fire Waves. It doesn't matter, right? You need the 5 players. That's more important than having Fire Giant. If someone steals it but gets picked off, it's not worth this late in the game.
Oh, they're going to try and pick Homiefe on the right-hand side here if he pushes any further forward. They're trying to see if he's going to leap in.
I think they could see the ISIS.
They saw the Brutalize come out and went for it.
They could see the ISIS. ISIS wings were actually sticking out of the wall there. I'm not sure if Homie actually noticed it, but he was definitely in vision.
Well, he brutalized the wave then. They looked for the aggression
He
immediately.
immediately
after
jumped.
that.
He knew.
Tried to go for it and got away with it.
Homie knew he was there.
Fire Giant about to spawn. 15 seconds left. FaymousHate in position. 3 men on zone duty for now. As you'll see, Thor return to help support it, as will Marauder, Wubbn. With the wall coverage they've got, they can sit here all day and just burst this one down. They won't try and bait for the most part unless they see people coming. They'll just go for a nice, quick, easy Fire Giant and then turn their attention back to the Phoenixes once again.
So something to note here is that middle and right side Phoenixes have just spawned. And the importance of this is it doesn't matter if the Phoenixes are up or down. What really matters is the Fire Waves pushing in. So Risky Behavior really want to utilize the Fire Waves that are still spawned if they can, because once the normal minions start coming through, it doesn't even matter if they take out the Phoenixes. They don't have that extra power of, Fire Archers swinging for hundreds of damage. And Thor actually going to take to the sky. I think that was a blink by Jigz in response.
Range to really do anything here on this one. But he did give vision of where everybody was, which was a key to him there. We saw Hurriwind on that left-hand side for a minute, so they're going to pressure the right-hand side as Hurriwind now going to swing around to mid lane to defend. Left Phoenix is coming up momentarily, but there is a Fire Minion wave heading down there too.
No, I think that's a normal wave. I think this is fine now. No more Fire Minions.
I mean,
Jigz blinks in, looking to be aggressive, trying to find Famous. He forced the purification. And now someone needs to focus out FaymousHate from problem solved.
They were focusing Marauder down there for a minute as then Thor goes in with the Berserker Barrage point pressure on Jigz got exploded on with that circle of protection. Wubbn gets carried for the kill. Baskin up against 5 members. The support from problem solved isn't there yet. Good stuff from Metyankey comes out, but he's still being pressured on by Marauder. Baskin has to retreat, as does Homiefe, and Yankee forced to use the rewind, getting hit by the wall, but the Sanctuary stops the damage. They're holding for now, but Fire Minions are pouring in from everywhere.
Shell has popped. FaymousHate put to the fight. Actually, gonna go into his form, trying to heal up. Can't find it. It's gonna be Hurriwind to find that kill. Teleport in from Scream, though, and now Marauder caught on his own. Wubbn, he's being chased down. Spirit Ball just off the mark, and Risky Behavior.
They're bravely trying to run away now. The Phoenix on the left-hand side did fall, though, so they get 2 Phoenixes out of this one. Because the Phoenix and left
they
falls,
didn't have the Fire Minions. Honestly, Fire Minions are so important. It doesn't matter that the Phoenixes were down.
They're trying to stop them now. Trying to stop them back until the Fire Minions do some work, and they actually might be able to find a kill onto Metyankey. Now they're looking for one onto Baskin as well. Circle protection back alive again. Bursting to give Thor a heal. Baskin in the world of hurt there. Homiefe looking for the pick on Thor, who jumps away with his hammer. Baskin finally does fall down as well. The 3-on-3 goes in their favor.
Homiefe, they're going to be on full retreat. Hurriwind, he spawned back, going to backflip out of there and head over to left-hand side. Middle Phoenix, not going to be aggressed. Homiefe, actually, this is smart from him. Obviously, he doesn't want to die, but he just is trying to waste as much time so Risky Behavior can't run into the Phoenix.
And auto attacks coming in from Scream or Varizial or Thor, whichever one you would call him. Phoenix in mid lane will fall down momentarily. Will Weaver coming out to try and do something to Hurriwind, but it wasn't enough to stop All 3 Phoenixes now falling.
Are they going to try and end?
Geb and Neith against the world. Here we go.
You can see a jump in. They're looking for Jigz. Jigz just coming off his spawn. Cataclysms. 2 players super low. Hurriwind crushing through, but it doesn't matter. The Titan falls 27 to 25 in kills. Risky behavior. Answer back in game 2 and even up the series.
Early game goes Risky Behavior's way considerably. Mid-game, I want to say that when in Problem Solve's favor, Baskin really came online and made a big influence.
Yes.
But then it felt like both teams hung around too much. They
every
too
time.
much every single time and then lost because of it.
It just seems like these players are just getting a little bit out of position trying to chase kills. They're not respecting the respawn timers, especially early, right? Around the 10 to 15 level mark, like these players are spawning quite often and they don't recognize it, especially on these extended engagements.
So look at First Blood all the way back at the beginning of the game as it was a long one. You can see what happened at the beginning because this was an overextendment.
This
suggested.
This
I think
was
it was a good
disrespect.
Play, you reckon?
This was disrespect, right? Isis, Thor, Bacchus, Chiron.
I don't agree with the disrespect there.
I don't
honestly.
think they respect that team.
I think it was Thor's rotation. Thor really made the impact play there for me.
But I mean, what are you gonna, like? You're gonna steal away mid harpies against a level 5 or boars against a level 5 Thor. You're all gonna pile into a tight corridor, and there's Isis there as well.
There was mistakes.
They don't even have boots at that time, which means they can't fool.
There was mistakes, but I don't think it was disrespect.
I think it's disrespect.
We'll find out in game 3. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the plays from that game as well, because it was a long one and. Tune into FaymousHate here, charging in deep for Hurriwind with the support of Marauder on the front line with that very good Eagles rally, and then they get Jigz out of that one as well. That was 17 to 17, which was, you know, halfway through that game pretty much.
Marauder versus... And they get Gold Fury, Fire Giants, and Towers off of this. And that was the thing, right? We talked about it. When one of these teams can win a clean fight, like trade a 3-for-0 or a 2-for-0, get players picked off, they're going to extend their lead. And this was just such a perfect storm of combinations.
We call that circles of doom.
Problem solved. Actually, hold this if I recall. Off a great play from Metyankey. And
they lost to Phoenix.
The Met versus FaymousHate was kind of the story of that game at the end. There is like which hard carry died first.
So when we look towards game 3 now, because we're now 1-1, it's a best of 5, guys. So this won't be the last game coming up next. What do you want to see out of these teams?
I want to see Problem Solve pick better.
Let's find out if they do pick better. We'll take a quick break to refresh. You should get yourselves a drink too, because by any stretch of the imagination, if he's going to go that long for game 2, I think game 3 is going to go the same way. We'll be back in a moment.